Good morning. Is this shirt racist? See, I'm not sure because it's black and white striped, but the black stripes are thinner than the white stripes. And I didn't count them, and I don't know if there's more white stripes than black stripes. So this could be considered a racist shirt. And then I'm considered a racist for wearing it. This is the topic of my show today because you know what? I'm not a racist, and I shouldn't have to continue to say this, but unfortunately in America today, white people have to go on the defensive and say, I'm not a racist for stupid things. We have to walk around on tippy toes around people we consider friends because we might say something that offends them. Or I might write something on Facebook, or I might put something on this show, and all of a sudden I'm a racist, even though that was never my intent, and I didn't even think of it as a racist statement. It seems today almost anything in the stores, products that are being sold, things people are saying, anything is termed being a racist. It's all about being black or white. You don't get a job, it's because you're black. You don't win an election, it's because you're black. You don't get into college, it's because you're black. How about the people who do get into college because they're black? And the white person with better grades who didn't get the spot because the college has a quota to fill. How about that? How about the lovely black man who can't take his white girlfriend home to meet his family because his family is racist against white people and does not want their only son marrying a white woman? It will ruin their family. How about that? Now, in the news recently, there's been a lot of stuff, and it's almost every day, which is why I'm doing a show about it. First, we had Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, okay? Schindler's List, for God's sake. And he was very honest. In fact, some black commentators have come out and called him a hero. 40 years ago, 4 decades, 40 years ago, when he was in his 20s, a good friend of his came to him and told him she had been raped by a black man. Brutally raped. She didn't know the man. And he was furious, as many of you would be furious if someone you cared about told you they were brutally raped. And so Liam Neeson admitted, because of the context of the movie he's doing, Cold Pursuit, which is a man whose son was killed by drug dealers, and he goes out after his personal revenge, he said, I can understand that because 40 years ago, I felt the same way. I was out looking for a black man. And if a black man had gotten in my face, I would have killed him. He was angry. He wasn't a racist. But oh my God, 40 years later, when he admits this, and he also admitted how horrible it made him feel. And that he forced himself to get over this anger and let the authorities take care of it. But I mean, come on. He went on one interview and said, if she had told me it was a Lithuanian person who raped her, I would have gone after Lithuanian people. And how many of you have said, after someone you love is the victim of a crime, give me 5 minutes alone with them, Mr. Police Officer. You better hope you get them before I do. It's not racist, it's anger. Because someone you love has been attacked, has been violated. Liam Neeson never committed a crime. He never harmed anybody. But all of a sudden, all over the social media, he's a racist. Don't go see his movies. Ruin his career over something that happened 4 decades ago. Right? Everyone wants to forgive Bill Cosby. There's a lot of people who think Bill Cosby was railroaded because of the rapes and the drugging of women he committed 30, 40 years ago. Oh, we can forgive Bill Cosby, but we won't forgive Liam Neeson, even though Liam Neeson came out and admitted that he was wrong to feel those feelings. Just my opinion, First Amendment protected. Now, in Lakeland, Florida, a sixth grader was arrested. Now, how old are sixth graders? I don't know. I don't have kids. 11, 12 years old. He refused to stand to salute our flag, to do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And there was a substitute teacher that day. Turns out this particular school allows children to do that. She didn't know that. And so she called him out on it. He started a ruckus about it. He said our flag is racist. The American flag is racist. Really? No, see, the Confederate flag, which, by the way, I abhor. I do not like the Confederate flag. It's people's First Amendment to fly it. And I don't like seeing it. It makes me sick. I don't like it. But no one's asking this child to salute the Confederate flag. This is the flag of America. So thank you, Colin Kaepernick, for now teaching, being such a role model for our young people that they refuse to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Where, by the way, this sixth grader, who does happen to be African American, can write African American on his college application in a couple of years and get into college, even if his grades are so-so. I'm sorry, it's the way it does work. Then we have the products. There's a sweatshirt that was out that said, "Coolest monkey in the jungle." I thought it was adorable. I didn't know about it. I never saw it before. I didn't see an advertisement for it. I never was in a store and saw it. But somebody out there, whoever the trolls are that go on the internet and purposely look for anything that they can complain about is racist, they said it's a racist shirt. How can saying coolest, which coolest means awesome, monkey in the jungle, is racist? And first of all, what is this obsession with monkeys? Do you know that I am a monkey? You are a monkey. We're all monkeys. If you believe in evolution, as I do, it's science, the theory of evolution. Do you know about it? We all have evolved from apes. It's the truth. And what is this thing with monkeys? Monkeys come in all colors: white monkeys, Abyssinian monkeys, brown monkeys, black monkeys, green, red. There's even a red monkey, I think, that has red hair. What is this thing with monkeys? Coolest monkey in the jungle is pride. It's saying, look at me, I'm awesome. I don't see the problem. But you know what? There was protests. It's a racist product. The people who made it pulled the product to make sure that everybody was happy. Well, I'm not happy. I would have liked to have that sweatshirt. Because I evolved from apes, and I'm a pretty cool girl, and I am the coolest monkey in the jungle. And there's nothing wrong with wearing a sweatshirt or a t-shirt that says that. You know, I was watching a food cooking show the other day, and they were making monkey bread. And I gasped. I did, because this is how we're being trained now. I'm like, oh my God, are they allowed to call that monkey bread? Is someone's going to say that, oh my God, that's racist? What about the stuff you climb on in the park? You know, the things with bars? What are they called? They're called monkey bars. You know why they're called monkey bars? Because monkeys like to climb. Okay? So we call them monkey bars, or we call them jungle gyms. That's what I always called them. But now I guess I have to say, well, maybe they're exercise equipment. I don't know what to call them now, because apparently if you say monkey bar, it's offensive. You know, the O.J. Simpson case. I'll tell you this, there is real racism in this country, and I believe the O.J. Simpson verdict was correct, and I got a lot of hate from my friends. It was before the internet. God help me if the internet had been up. How could you think he was innocent? I said, I didn't say he was innocent. I said, Mark Fuhrman is a racist, lying cop who committed perjury, and because of that, the verdict was correct. Did OJ kill those people? He probably did. But you put a Fuhrman in there, and it screwed the whole case. When Mark Fuhrman should have had the honesty that Liam Neeson had, and Liam Neeson never used the N-word. But when you ask an LAPD police officer, did you ever use the N-word? And he says, never in my entire life have I used the N-word. You know that that's a lie. You know it's a lie. And I knew it was a lie. And I looked at my mother because we were watching the trial together. And I said, it's over. It's done. This guy's lying. Of course he's lying. I don't use the N-word as a regular part of my vocabulary, but I've used it. I've used it on this show to make a point. So if someone asks me under oath, have you ever used the N-word? I'll be like, yes, I have. I've never used it in hatred or to describe another person to their face, but I've used it. You don't just say never ever have I ever, because that's a lie. And O.J. Simpson's verdict was correct, and a lot of my friends, mostly white, criticized me for my opinion. How dare you? Well, come on. You know, you might be white and I'm white, but we're not related. I don't have to think like you think just because we have the same color skin. I don't roll that way. But see, that's how people want us to roll. If you're black, you have to vote for a black candidate. If you're white, you dare not vote for a black candidate. I don't go that way. If you're a woman, vote for a woman. You know, when I criticized people in the Me Too movement who were coming out years later after they took hundreds of thousands of dollars from their alleged attacker, I got called out by women saying, oh my God, you're dissing the sisters. I'm like, you are not my sisters. I've never met you before. We are not related. You're not my sisters. Just because we're women. So we have vaginas. That's the only thing we have in common. Trust me on that one. I have nothing in common with someone who waits 40 years to report a rape. Nothing in common with someone like that. And I certainly have nothing in common with any woman who takes money to shut up about a rape. Because I wouldn't do that. I don't roll that way. So I will not defend someone just because we both have vaginas who does something like that. That's how I roll. Okay? So now let's get to the real big deal that's going on right now. And that's the Jussie Smollett case. Now, we don't know. But the minute this story broke, and some people tell me my show can sometimes be prophetic, I looked at my husband and I said, something isn't right. And now something really isn't right, because it was first reported as a hate crime against a black man who also happens to be gay. And now we find out that the people who possibly did this were black. So I guess you can take the race thing out. A black person wouldn't attack another black person. You can't call it a racial crime, although Jussie Smollett continues to say that it is. But here's the problem I have with this whole Jussie Smollett thing is, I remember Matthew Shepard, the beautiful young college student who truly was murdered because of a hate crime. Because the people who tortured and murdered him hated gay people. And I'm looking now at this Jussie Smollett case and I'm thinking, oh my God, if he made this up, if he paid these two men to do this for attention, maybe he's not mentally with it, but if this becomes the case, think about what's going to happen for future victims, real victims of racial and homophobic crime. The police will now be forced to investigate the victim. and not just look for the suspects. Because people are going to be like, are they pulling a Smollett? Now, I don't know Jussie Smollett. I don't watch his show. I've never heard him sing. I know nothing about him. I'm not prejudiced against him in any way. I felt horrible when this first broke on the news. I was supporting him. Oh my God, how horrible. I expected the perpetrators to be caught, and they would be, some of the people we see some that support Trump, the Aryans, the Nazis, neo-Nazis, Aryan Nation type, shaved heads, swastika tattoos. That's who I expected had done this. And then these two brothers come up who happen to know Jussie Smollett very personally. They know him well. And things started to change. Now look, this could go either way. If it turns out that this was a hoax, well, shame on everybody involved. Shame on, first of all, Jussie Smollett for staging it. When he says he's an advocate for racial equality doesn't mean that blacks are better than whites or whites are better than blacks. It's called equal. And sometimes I think that gets messed up in the dialogue with some of these new activists that are coming out here who never had to sit on the back of a bus or drink from a different water fountain, but troll the internet looking for racial offenses by white people who mean no racial animosity toward anybody. They just made a sweatshirt. They just made a sweater, and everybody loses their mind. How about losing your mind over someone who claims to want racial equality and equal rights for the LGBTQ community and claims to be a part of this and an activist, and now he won't talk to the authorities anymore. He has a defense attorney. Why in the world would he fake an attack on himself? Why? Why? He doesn't need the publicity. His show's very popular. Everybody loves him. Why would you do something like this? And actually, why would these two brothers go along with it? Also, two black men who have probably experienced some form of racism in their lives. I don't appreciate the real racism that still exists in our country. I often tell the story that in the 90s, a group of us were out. One of our friends was black. We were bar hopping. We start to go into this bar. He says, I can't go in there. I'm like, why not? So naive, because I didn't grow up like this. He said, it's a redneck bar. I said, what does that mean? He said, they don't let black people in there. I'm like, what do you mean they don't let black people in there? It says no shirt, no shoes, no service. You're wearing a shirt, you're wearing shoes, you can go in. It doesn't say no black people. He said, believe me, Paula, I know. I can't go in there. You guys go in, I'll meet up with you at the next bar. I said, oh, fuck no. We're not going in either. I'm not going to give them my money if my friend can't come in with me. Bullshit. We'll go to another bar. That's horrible that still happens in 21st century America. But that's real racism. Sweatshirts and calling a cake monkey cake, or, I call my dog a mischievous little monkey. My dog is black. She doesn't get offended. You know why? Because she's colorblind. Dogs are colorblind. She treats me great. She loves me because I'm good to her. I wish we could all be like that. That we could just be friends with people or know people or get to know people, not based on color, religion. I don't want friends that look and act just like me. I want different friends. I want friends who can teach me something about different cultures, different religions. When I meet someone, I don't see the color of their skin. I don't ask them where they go to church. I don't care. I don't care if they're male or female. Again, that show's coming. Can men and women be friends? I say yes, they can. They can be friends without benefits. That's coming next week. But wouldn't it be great if nobody saw color? if everybody just looked the same color, and I don't really care if it's black or white, to be honest with you, I spend 90% of my time over the summer trying to get my skin darker because I think dark skin is beautiful. And I've talked to young women, a young woman who is mulatto. Her mother is white, her father is black, and she felt bad that her skin color was different. I said, darling, I'm risking skin cancer to get my skin as beautiful as yours. But I just wish we wouldn't judge people based on things that they can't change. And I also, by saying that, we don't reward them for it either. You shouldn't get a job because you're black. You should get a job because you're the best person for the job. And good people, like I consider myself a good person, people who mean no offense or animosity should not be called to task and labeled a racist because we said something without even thinking about it because it's not what we think about. And it offended you. Well, I apologize if I offended you because I certainly don't mean to. I guess I just don't know these new rules. And once again, who has the time to troll around the internet looking for something to call racist? I don't. I would have never known these products existed until someone found them, one of these new, younger black activists who spent all day long trying to find something racist about something on the internet and bitch about it. And then they pat themselves on the back when they get the product removed. You know what? You know who should pat themselves on the back? People who actually gave their lives so that you have the right to vote. People who gave their lives back in the 60s so you can walk into any restaurant you want and sit down at the counter. Whereas before, there were black diner counters and white. You can drink out of the water fountains anywhere. And people gave their lives for that. They marched. They were beaten. And they were murdered. Thank them. And then ask how horrible your life is because someone's selling a sweatshirt that says coolest monkey in the jungle. How that harms you. Why that offends you. Ask yourself that. And by the way, you want equality? The next time you fill out a job application, when it asks for your race, put other. Or put non-applicable or none of your business. You apply for college, they ask for your race, put non-applicable. None of your business. Other. You know, racism goes two ways. And again, I want to say this very clearly, and I know I'm going to get backlash for saying it, but I don't owe anyone an apology for something that happened before I was born, and the fact that I grew up here in Pennsylvania, the North, and that my family, my ancestors who came here from Greece, and were also treated like crap, by the way, when they came here, greasy Greeks and all the little sly, slurs, because they were from Greece and they ate the stinky cheese and went to the weird church, and it is weird, but still, they were criticized. My mother, in the 40s, when she was in junior high school, called a greasy Greek, made fun of because of her Greek heritage. But my family never owned slaves. So I don't owe you an apology, and I refuse to walk on tippy toes and worry about every little thing that comes out of my mouth, that it might be considered racist. I know real racists. I know people who use the N-word every 5 minutes. I know people who hate blacks because they're black. I'm ashamed to say that that's how they feel, but it's how they feel. It's not how I feel. And I always let them know it. I really don't appreciate that language. I don't understand why you're like that, and I also know people who hate gay people. And I'm not like that either. So I know what a real racist looks like, and I know what a real racist sounds like. Same with homophobes. I know what a real anti-gay homophobic person looks like and sounds like, because I know them. I've heard their horrible talk. I don't talk like that. So if I want to buy a sweatshirt that says coolest monkey in the jungle and wear it because I am the coolest monkey in my jungle, then I should be able to do it. And none of you who know me should take offense to it. And that's the problem, isn't it? You don't really know me. You know what I tell you about me. And some of you are going to watch this show and you're going to say, oh, yeah, everyone who says they're not a racist, they're a racist. No. See, the only reason I say I'm not a racist is because people assume that I am. Every time I mention welfare on my show, I get comments from my black viewers. How dare you talk about us like that? I wasn't talking about you. The people I know on welfare who have abused it are white. They look like me. I don't know any black people who are on welfare. But right away, I'm called a racist. And then I have to come out and defend myself. I wasn't talking about you because I don't know you or your financial situation. I'm talking about my personal experience with white people on welfare. All right? So let's get that straight. And please, instead of looking for offensiveness and looking for racism or homophobia everywhere we go, how about let's look for love? That's a challenge for all of you this weekend. This is my last show of the week. Look for love. And when you meet someone, don't notice if they're black or white. Have a conversation. Like my dog, my beautiful dog. She doesn't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, if you're Chinese, if you're thin, if you're fat. You give her a biscuit, you rub her head, mess with her ears a little bit. She loves you forever. Wouldn't it be nice if we were all like that? If we could simply treat people the way we want to be treated and choose our friends not by where they go to church, what country they came from, what color their skin is, how much money they have, what kind of job they have. Why don't we just have a conversation? And if we like each other, then we can be friends. It shouldn't matter. Race, sexuality, financial situation, it shouldn't matter. We all bleed red. And we all have a heart and a brain. So what I would challenge you to do is maybe start thinking more with your heart and stop worrying so much about the brain, about how you've been brainwashed, maybe by your parents or your friends, to hate without even knowing. I will keep you updated on the Smollett case, and I'm sure you're following it as well. It breaks my heart if what they're saying is true, and I hope it's not. I really do. But if it is, there's obviously a bigger story here, and I will cover it when news breaks. Other than that, have a great and safe weekend. Please be kind to each other, love one another, think with your heart, and I'll see you back here on Tuesday. Political Paula, out.